Are you feeling like a zombie lately? Tired of the same old energy drinks promising the world but delivering the jitters and a crash? Look no further than Sneak Energy, your secret weapon for all your energy needs. With all natural ingredients, Sneak will give you all the energy you need to boost through your day without feeling like a lab rat on caffeine. Don't believe us? Try it yourself and see what a difference it can make to your routine. So what are you waiting for? Hit the link in the description and pick up your Sneak Starter Pack today. Now enjoy the clip.
Equipped to be in a title race. We're really not. We're defying logic if we get into that. And look, Arsenal and Man City can still drop more points and United can still win a load of games and technically get back into it. But it's difficult because you think you're at a certain level, then you dare to dream, and that's what life's all about. But I do think the title talk has become a bit of an issue. Every time we talk about the title, the team drops points. It's the second time it's happened now. Could the new Super League spook the Glazers into staying, says Treble Champ? I mean, that's a great point. This Super League talk is a concern. I just really hope that the passion against the Super League in any shape or form from English fans is what it was 2 years ago, because we don't need a Super League. We don't need one. We've got one. Do we need to be in a league with Real Madrid? I mean, how many great teams are there that we need from Europe? Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG. It's a handful of clubs at best. I mean, people will say the Italian clubs, and I love Italian football, but it's not that good. They don't win the Champions League anymore. Serie A is a very good league to watch, but they're not powerhouses. They're desperate for money. The Italian league doesn't make them much money. So for me, there's a handful of clubs at best that you'd go, that would be interesting to play. We don't need it. We just don't need it. And every English fan every fan of the Premier League needs to get behind these protests that kick in against the Super League. We don't need a Super League because of 5 clubs that would be nice to play. Let's be honest. Real Madrid, home and away. Barcelona, home and away. Bayern Munich, home and away. And PSG, well, not even PSG, really. That's 8 games. That's 8 games a season that would be quite interesting. Would you find it interesting playing Dortmund home and away? Or Napoli home and away? Or Valencia home and away? Or Ajax home and away? I mean, to be honest, not really. Give me Leeds. Give me Goodison Park. Give me Villa Park. I don't want a Super League, and I don't know why we should be forced into a Super League when we've already got a system. I love the Premier League. I love the Championship. I love the domestic setup that we've got. And the only reason these Super Leagues keep getting mentioned is because Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, PSG have completely messed up their domestic league by making the money funnel up to them. The Premier League is so good because, there are the big clubs, but there's a lot of wealth and it's spread out. And a lot of people, this is why Everton can go and buy players from Atletico Madrid, because the Premier League is so wealthy and it's well run. In La Liga, all the TV money goes to Barcelona and Real Madrid. It's not distributed. So they haven't got competitive leagues. I guarantee you now, if La Liga was like the Premier League, they wouldn't want a Super League. They'd be like, we've already got one. But because they haven't got that, we need a Super League. We don't bloody need a Super League. It's immoral. It's all about greed. And also, the travelling is completely immoral. Sending thousands of fans every couple of days all around Europe to watch games. I mean, carbon footprint, I'll forget about it. We want to make some money. It's just greed on every level. And I tell you what, that's what charities should be looking at. 1234 says it's replacing the Champions League. Yeah, you're naive. How do you replace the Champions League with an 80 league system, 80 team system? It's not replacing the Champions League at all. It's replacing the Premier League. That's what they're trying to do. Just ask Barca and Real to relocate to Sussex, says Terence. Yeah. Join the Premier League. Find a way to do that, because I wouldn't be going into a Super League in a million years. I would like the Qatar takeover, but I worry they would join the Super League to promote their country around Europe, says Gaza. Look, you know what, Gaza? I wish all the best to every football club in the Premier League, but more specifically, I really wish Manchester United's fan base would just, unite a little bit more. because I think we go from one problem to another problem and we don't necessarily look at the bigger picture. Where is football going? Football is going down a path which is about greed. It has been for years, but it's going about greed, and it's absolutely obsessed with global market and global growth. And it's sad because we've got one of the biggest and best fan bases in the world, and it's global. You know, from India to Mexico, from America to Australia, we've got an amazing global fan base, and we've had that for a very, very long time. But these people are obsessed with the next way of making more money out of this game, and it always has been like this, Sean, you're right. But that chat from somebody there is absolutely spot on. If you can't see that football is trying to take Manchester United to Qatar and Real Madrid to New York to play competitive games, you're very naive. That's the way it's going. And I don't even know if it's exclusive to Manchester United. I think there needs to be look, people will say there's something that already exists, but with teeth and intelligence and foresight and, you know, future planning, there needs to be a football fan group with teeth. I would say with lawyers, you know, with politicians, with, you know, people on board who know what they're on about, because we can protest, but we're not going to get listened to in these private meetings because we won't be in them between UEFA and FIFA and all these pools of money. A World Cup got played in Qatar in November. Completely screwed up the domestic seasons. That happened. It wasn't a dream. Don't tell me that Man United won't be playing in a Super League against Real Madrid with a home game at Sydney that kicks off at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think it will happen. I think it will happen. And I think that's the plan. They want to globalise football. And yeah, our home, you know, some of our games will be played in Manchester, but I think some of our home games will be played in New York. They'll be played in Delhi. They'll be played in South Africa. They'll be played wherever there's a massive global market that they can literally... It'll be like the F1. F1 goes to Miami. They take over Miami for 2 weeks. It's for 2 days. It's globe, you know, it's brand, it's everything. It's in a massive event, and you can sell it off. This is where it's going. I've cleared the game. I've worked in this. I know how it works. Man United playing every home game at Old Trafford, yeah? Even if you do a stadium sponsorship, it's a stadium sponsorship. You know, let's say Apple at the Apple Stadium, whatever, right? They pay a certain amount of money, and Man United's ground's called this. You have certain sponsors around the ground, and they pay for the season or whatever, or a 3-year deal. Man United plays a home game at a massive stadium in America. That whole event you can sell to sponsors just for that weekend. And then your next game that you play in Delhi, you sell that as well. It's you take us on tour, and every event you can sell as a package. And you can do it for the whole tour, but it just huge money. And that's where we're heading. We're heading towards that. So look, I can't say to you that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's not aware of that, or Qatar people aren't aware of that, or, you know, Chinese investors, or wherever. That's where football's going, and that's where we'll snooze and lose, because it will just happen like that, and it'll be like, oh, the English fans don't like the fact that Man United aren't playing their home game against Liverpool, but look, the American fans are loving it. It's being played in New York. You're just a quiet voice. You're finished. You're gone. And this is why fans in collective need to wake up to this, because they'll do it. They'll sign on the dotted line, and you'll moan, but it won't matter, because you'll be protesting outside Old Trafford, and we won't be playing there. We play in Australia, and the Australian fans, fair play, they'll go and watch it, because they'll be like, what? Man United against Real Madrid in the Super League for 3 points. Let's go. I think that's where football's going. And I think that's why there was a lot of protests about the Super League in the first place. But they're not going to stop. These people, Perez at Real Madrid, they don't like losing. He won't like losing. They're not going to lose. In their mind, they're going to win. They're going to keep going and going and going. Always.